take 2 or 3 specialized courses in Starkville at the veterinary school, in particular zoonotic diseases like West Nile virus, H1N1 flu, and they could get a master's degree from Southern Miss, never coming to Hattiesburg. So I'm pretty proud of that. And the last innovative program we did, I started a National Center for Spectator Support, Safety, and Security. If you've been to a Saints game recently or ever been to a Major League Baseball game, you have to go through a special line. They pat you down. Monday night they actually use the wine. And sometime before the game starts, they tell you a number to text if there's a problem where you are. If you go to a Major League Baseball game before the game starts, one of the players will tell you where to exit if there's a fire or anything. That all came out of that center. And it's aligned with all the Major League sports. But the programs that came out of that I'm very proud about is that you now can go to Southern Miss and get a master's degree in sports management, focusing on spectator sport, safety, and security. There was a need for it. It developed out of bioterrorism. Finally, at UT Tyler, it's going to sound like a broken record. I started an executive program in healthcare administration, which started this fall because Tyler, Texas, and East Texas is a medical hub, and didn't have enough people trained to be healthcare administrators. Also, while I was there, we started an online PhD in nursing, totally online. Students only came for an orientation the first semester, and they came back to defend their dissertation. And I'm proud to say this past spring, three students received a PhD in this program. It was only the 2nd or 3rd program in the country. And the need is that there's a great nursing shortage in the United States. Part of the reason is there's a shortage in nursing faculty. So the program was developed to do that.
Thank you. Dr. Fos, our next question is from Susan Hess.
Dr. Fos, good to have you here.
Thank you, Susan.
You've already kind of mentioned a little bit about my question, but I'd like to hear a little bit more about your thoughts. I'm interested in the external focus. We need to reach out to the larger community, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are, how you might go about doing that.
Sure. I'll tell you what I told the business leaders. One of the first things I think I would do is I'd form a President's Council and Advisory Committee of business leaders, people who are interested in UNO, not necessarily all alumni, but people who are interested that, hey, I'd have to know what their needs are before I could help them. Plus, I'd want them to know what UNO's needs are. I'd want them to know what UNO is contributing now, and I would need them to help me tell the story about what's going about UNO and what's happening. Also, what's happening now in this country, if you think about it, our economy's changing. And I'll quote somebody who told me this last Tuesday, that in the 1900s, and in the year 1900, the 2 richest people in the United States was named Rockefeller, Carnegie. They were manufacturers, they did steel, they did oil. In the year 2000, the most richest person in the United States was a guy named Bill Gates. Bill Gates doesn't build anything, he sells knowledge and technology. So the university, all universities, and this university, is the leading economic engine for any community. And because what we do, first of all, we discover knowledge, we create knowledge in our research, and also what we do is that we graduate people with a knowledge-based curriculum that they can then leave and join a knowledge-based economy. So I need to be connected to the business. I need to know what they need as presidents, and I can try to address their needs. And also, I was told they need a workforce. Well, they need a knowledge-based workforce. And that's exactly who our graduates are.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, I may ask you to serve Susan on that.
Our next question is from Brian Glorioso.
Dr. Fos, what would be your vision for UNO as an urban research university, and what initial steps would you take to implement your vision as a research university here?
Well, I think many of the characteristics actually still exist. So let me tell you what I think a research university should do. Urban, using that as a descriptor. First of all, it must promote the optimal learning environment for students. Must have excellence in academic programs. Must be outstanding. Also must have excellence in student services, both on campus and counseling, et cetera. Secondly, because we are in a city, and just being located in the city doesn't mean you're an urban university, by the way. We have to be fully engaged with the greater New Orleans area and understand their needs in education, health and well-being, arts, and economic development. So we have to be fully engaged. The university must be a leader in public service. We must do what we can to help the community, and we can do that through service learning with students and faculty, et cetera. Also, because we're in an urban area, we need to be excellent in visual and performing arts. The cultural aspects of an urban area, UNO must do, and I think they do it already. And it also has to promote research and economic development, and not necessarily in a traditional sense, for stuff to traditional research, but urban areas have different problems. Urban areas have social problems, transportation problems, housing problems. So UNO must do research in those aspects. And as I said in the previous question, UNO must understand the workforce needs and do the best it can to prepare a knowledge-based workforce for the community. I think it does many of those things already, Mr. Glorioso, and I think those are probably achievable and goals and reasonable goals for this university.
One of our members is not here today, Mr. Hebert, who's attending a funeral for a friend. So I'm going to ask his question.
Okay.
Don't mind. Obviously, you've talked a lot about academic programs, and we know the heart and soul of any institution are the academic programs that are offered and the quality of those programs. Give us an overview of how you would review academic programs, or you and your staff, to be sure that they have quality, they're relevant, and they're also aligned with the institutional mission, and how you would address those same programs given some of the budgetary reduction issues we face today.
Well, the best indicator of quality in programs is having your programs accredited. That's external discipline-specific agencies that see other programs. It's actually your peers that come in and evaluate you. Understand from the institution review report every program that is eligible for accreditation that UNO is accredited. So that you'd have to continue to do that. The university also has to set its own internal performance indicators that would be college-specific and hopefully come from the colleges because most the best evaluation is from within. All the accrediting bodies make you do self-studies, so we periodically evaluate them, especially those programs that have a long-term evaluation period. Now, but periodic evaluation is very necessary. Of course, the worst thing can happen is that your budget's cut. So in budgetary situations, I think there's a couple of different tenets you have to think about. Those programs that are central to the mission should be the least to be cut, the last to be cut, excuse me, and maybe not cut them at all, make them a sacred cow. Those programs that are your signature programs, and there's several here, they should be the last ones to be cut. You should not cut programs or activities that affects academic integrity or the rigor of the university. And finally, which is the most difficult part, because as you said, academics is a big part. It's also a very large part of the budget. Our previous institutions, about 85% of the budget was in academic affairs. 85% of that is people. So any cuts involve personnel. You'd have to make cuts that would cause the least personal harm. And when you had to do it, you have to do it in a humane manner. So periodic evaluations internally based on guidelines that would be established by the colleges, as well as it's not an option. All programs have to maintain their accreditation.
Thank you. Our next question is from Ms. Laparoli.
Personnel costs constitute a big part of campus budgets. If faced with a situation of reducing personnel due to decreases in state support or decreases in enrollment due to increases in admission standards, how would you handle that situation?
Have had to make personnel cuts?
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we did at University of Texas at Tyler. Many people think that Texas was not affected by the economic downturn. That wasn't true. We were disaffected about 18 months later. And the president came to me and said I had to cut $3.5 million out of my budget. And he told me, make it so. I said, okay. I contacted the Faculty Senate leadership, and we developed a task force of faculty members. I contacted the University Staff Advisory Council, and had a few members on the task force for that. I appointed a dean and a chair, and we met over the course of the semester and told them we had to make cuts. I gave them some guidelines, and I've just repeated them. Guidelines: one, mission-centric programs, let's leave alone. Signature programs, let's leave alone. Programs, let's do the least cuts that affect people. And we had wonderful meetings. I allowed the faculty and staff to tell me where they would make cuts. Of course, as a facilitator, kind of guided them a little bit, but because the people who get affected should be involved in the decision. They don't get to make the final choice. That's what the president does. But people have a stake in things such as, we're going to eliminate 10 faculty lines. That's 10 people. Or we're going to eliminate 10 staff lines. The representatives of those bodies should be involved in the discussion, should be at the table. And interesting enough, I had a chair agree to eliminate 2 master's programs. I didn't have to say you're going to eliminate them. I had a chair, I had a dean decide to each year give back all his salary savings. But universities typically just take them when you have a budget situation, but he said, you can have back my salary savings. And we actually had the $3.5 million total, and we actually had a little list trying to find money. I had a faculty member that agreed to have their summer school not funded by the university. And they did it totally online, and the deal was they got to keep the designated tuition. I saved $70,000. They took all the risk, and the faculty agreed to work if they made the money. Of course, believe it or not, the semester credit hours was way up. The head count was way up, and we charged them a 5% financing fee on a designated tuition. Those things came out of this meeting. Now, not everybody liked those things, but I didn't decide it. I sort of guided the discussion. So what I would do here, if I was president and we had to cut personnel, is that I would form a similar body and get input from the people who would be affected. Yeah.
Our next question is from Mr. Guidry.
Good seeing you, Mr. Guidry.
Dr. Fos, I'm certain you would agree that a strong senior staff is crucial to leading an institution.
Yes.
What qualities would you look for in selecting and evaluating those individuals?
Okay. I think there's several characteristics. First of all, they have to be competent. By that I mean they have to either know the job or be willing to work hard and grow into the job. They have to be dependable. By that I mean they have to work independently, have to follow instructions, come to work on time, those sort of things. They'd also have to be loyal. Not loyal just to me, but loyal to the university. Because I think loyalty is a two-way street. By that I mean is that if you're loyal to me and the university, we'll be loyal back to you. They have to be honest and have to demonstrate integrity. By that I mean is that they can't slough on the job. They can't do shortcuts to finish their tasks. They can't say, I'm going to the doctor this afternoon, and they go play golf. I would rather have people not do that.